All right, Shalom. First and foremost, gonna give all praises and glories due. Kuala, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Kwakadash. One second. Then do not disturb. Double honors to the apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there in the highways and byways doing this work in sincerity and the truth. And honors and salutations, Salakia, that's doing this, that you brothers out there that's doing this work in sincerity and the truth. And shalom to the few sisters listening in silence to the spirit and power of our Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahshua. So I want to land back on what was said, the previous last week's camp that we had. You had these two Edomites, these two Edomite boys that came up, and I asked them a particular question. I asked them a question about America being destroyed, and let me just play it at the end of the day. Then I'll just go into it.
It's very clearly explain to you that the Bible is only for the Israelites. Okay, when you build off that premise, then you can understand the rest. Right? God judges, right? God flooded the whole earth. We just talked about in the flood, right? That's judgment. The Most High flooded the whole earth, didn't he? Do you agree with that? Yeah, he knew people were going to be evil. Right. Is that not judgment? He knew there were going to be evil. He still created that. But also the scripture says that my thoughts are not your thoughts either. Are your ways my ways. Like me personally, I don't believe it ever happens. I mean, books is it never happens. Never happened, right? No, it never happened. No, I don't think there's one. There might be some. Without doubt, how can you? Okay, wait. Another thing too. All right. Do you believe that America's going to be destroyed? I mean, in the next 500 years, yeah, of course. In the next 500 years?
Yeah, so you heard that they said that, yeah, they believe it, but in the next 500 years. But the fact of the matter is that this place still doesn't have that kind of time, you know. It was like, Alizar saying that, the next 1,000 years. But, it's the same thing, America doesn't have 1,000 years nor 500 years. Okay, that's just preposterous. That's utter madness to even make a statement like that. And the only reason why they're actually saying it is because, they're comfortable here, and ultimately this is their kingdom, and they don't really want to see this kingdom go down. That's why they made the statement, oh, in the next 500 years. But the reality is that this place doesn't have 500 years. Okay. And that's the inward thought. And let's get the precept really for that. So this is Psalms chapter 49 verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and that their dwelling place to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You see, that's their inward thought. Especially Esau, because I made a statement earlier today in camp that when you're on top, you never want to go down. Okay. You don't ever want to go down. You want to stay on top. And this is why, Esau, he's going to try to fight tooth and nail to try to keep his kingdom. He's going to try to fight tooth and nail to stay in power. But he's eventually going to go down pursuant to prophecy. Okay? He's going to go down pursuant to prophecy. Because let's get, Psalms. Yep. Whoops. That's songs. Psalms chapter 75. Okay. Psalms chapter 75, verse 6. It says, For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and set up another. Okay, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the judge. He set up down one he put up down one and set up another. Okay, so eventually Esau, he's gonna be set down. All right, pursuing to our Lord Yahweh Shai. By our Lord Yahweh Shai, that's coming back to reign upon the earth. Okay. So he's gonna be put down, you know. And another thing too, why would they be building a space a golden dome, so to say, you know, because ultimately that's gonna be used to try to fight Yahweh Shai when he comes. Okay, because they know that Yahweh Shai is soon to return upon the earth, so they're gonna try to fight tooth and nail to stay in power. Okay, but eventually, you know, Esau and these other nations, they're gonna go down. All right, and that's just a prophecy. Okay, because you gotta also think about too. Come on now, and use common sense, because our Lord said, "Except those days be shortened, that there shall no flesh left to be saved." Okay, because this devil, he's on a rampage on trying to kill everybody. You know, destroy everybody, including himself. Because look at the earth, look at the conditions in the earth. You know, animals are becoming extinct. You know, the ecosystem. You know, the water. You know, the animals are distressed. You got whales beaching themselves. The fishes. You know, so this devil, he's anti-life. You know, them chopping down the trees and this and that. You know, so there's no life here. You know, there's no comfort here. There's no nothing here. Okay, it's all wickedness. All right. So our Lord said this in Matthew's. Let's get it. Matthew's 24 and 23. It reads that except those, our Lord said, except those days shall be shortened, that there shall no flesh left to be saved. But for the elect's sakes, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You see? So the days are being short. Okay. So there isn't gonna be no next 500 years or 1,000 years from now. Okay. By that time, you know, everybody will be dead. All right. So our Lord clearly said, except those days be shortened, that there shall no flesh left to be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay. All right. So this is why the days are being shortened. Pretty much June is already gone. All right. June came, went, you know, these years, the days are flying. Okay. Okay. We're already in the middle of the year and the days are flying. It's about to be July. Okay. It felt like June just came in yesterday or something like that. Okay. So the days are going by very quickly. Okay. So there is no 500 years from now, nor 1,000 years from now. Okay. That's not happening. That's not possible. Okay. The days are at hand. Okay. Pursuant to let's get Romans 13. So Romans 13 and 11, and it reads, and that now knowing that the time is now high time to wake up out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Okay. Verse 12, the night is far spent, the days are at hand. Okay. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Okay. So the days are flying. You know, the time is short. Okay. So there is no 1,500 years or 1,000 years. Okay. We're in that time now. We're in the time where prophecy is taking place now. Okay. All right. So that's the time we're living in. Okay, right now, not not no damn 20 years or 10 years or 30 years from now. That's not possible. That's not happening. Okay, we're in those times now. All right, we're in the transition now. All right, the time of Jacob's trouble has begun. All right, so we're in that time. So there is no 1,000 year. There is no 1,000 years from now, or no 500 years from now. Okay, we're in those times now. All right, we're in the time of prophecy right now. Okay, so with that, I'm just gonna leave it there. It's just been a quick hit. Gonna give all praises and glories due to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Kwakadash. Shalom.